Welcome to Sensor Noise, a podcast about photography and other hobbies, but mainly photography. I'm Andrew, joined as always by Arthur. Arthur, how you doing? We survived January.
Yeah, we did survive January.
By
barely.
The skin of our teeth. Yeah.
Yeah, you know, the horrors persist, but so do I. So
yeah, right.
That's just sort of how it is. It's not helping that today it is the first day this year that we have significant rain. So pretty gross.
Yeah.
Not really a good day for feeling like there's a bright future out there, you know?
Mm-hmm. We're having like ping pong weather here. Like yesterday it was above 60 degrees. Today it barely cracked 35. So
gross.
Make up your mind is all I have to say about that.
Yeah.
Choose one.
At least it is like 60 today. So it's warm, but just gross. And
it's very annoying too, because the HVAC in the building in which I work seems like it's like delayed a day for what it should be doing.
Yeah.
So like it was kind of cold today. Yesterday was a little warm. So yeah. It's like, come on.
Sometimes they do that on purpose, I've been told. They sort of delay it from what it really should be to save money, I guess.
Yeah, that's okay. Whatever.
In theory, I don't
know. There's a lot of news this week.
Yeah, quite a bit.
And only some of it is your normal run-of-the-mill stuff.
So first, very run-of-the-mill, Canon has a new lens.
Okay.
16-28 f2.8. And the reason I'm bringing this up is because Canon continues to understand, at least from their lens division, what it is that photographers want, which is nice lenses that are small. Look at how small this little thing is.
Let me see. Okay, yeah.
It's 2.8, and it's little. It's a little guy.
That's true. It is now, actually, yes. This is about the size as the F4 is for the Nikon Z.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, hey, what's up with that? How come they're the only ones who care about doing this?
Yeah. Listen, use all your optical expertise and all that nonsense and make me a smaller lens.
Yeah. And it's always been Canon that cares about this.
Yeah.
I mean, look at their primes too, their 50 millimeter pancakes that we've complained about. Like what is stopping everybody else from making smaller and lighter lenses? Why does nobody do this except for them? I don't understand.
12, 13, 14, 15, 16 elements in this lens.
Because take a look even at their primes. Look at, they have a new 50 millimeter 1.4 prime that's way smaller than the Nikon one. And then they've got even their 70-200 prime, or their 70-200 standard zoom is quite. It's shorter than the Nikon one. I don't know if it's lighter, but it's shorter for sure.
Yeah.
I just why? Hey guys, come on, make them lighter. We don't need
this. They got this 28 millimeter f2.8 that is like extremely small.
It's microscopic.
Yeah. Like, you talk about a pancake lens, like, my goodness.
Like, do they have a patent that no one else has access to or something? I struggle to understand why this is the case. It doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah, who knows? I don't know. I guess that's just one of the ways you differentiate. So
I suppose. Also, separately, I would like to see this somebody else to make one of those. For the RF, they've got the 800 millimeter f16 lens or whatever it is. Yeah, RF 800 f11. Let's get one of those for the other platforms too.
Yeah, right. I want
give me
big...
stupid lenses.
They have an RF 800 f11 and an RF 800 f5.6. Yeah, and they also have an RF 1200 f8,
which is crazy.
Price for that lens, a cool $19,999.
Right. But this is the thing I'm talking about. It's they have that, and they have the 800, f5.6, which is $17,000, and then the 800 f11 is $999. Very reasonable.
I have to tell you, you're gonna have to buckle up for this one. The RF 1200 is compatible with their 2x teleconverter.
So you'd get a 2400 millimeter f16.
Yes.
For what?
Are
you taking a picture of a bird that's like 3 miles away?
Listen, what I wanted to do is turn my camera into a telescope. Okay.
Yeah. Have they heard of macro lenses, do you suppose?
No.
Because I think that's what you're supposed to do for that. That's wild.
This lens is it is almost 2 feet long.
Yeah.
And it weighs almost 8 pounds.
I mean, it's
a weapon.
It's turning it into almost one of those like television lenses, the big box ones that have like a 51x zoom in it. It's basically that. That's what they've made here.
Yeah.
But it's a prime, which is nuts.
One thing's to be sure, you're going to want to put your strap on the lens on this one and not the camera.
Yeah, for sure. Absolutely.
Yeah.
It does look like it has a gigantic strap mount on the side.
It sure does. It's like riveted on there. Yeah. Gonna want to use the tripod foot on this lens.
Oh man.
It even has two different hoods of different length.
It is a short and a long one.
Yeah. Anyway.
Well, in other Canon news, they have another camera sensor, because they still make camera sensors, unlike everybody else. They've got a new sensor that is a 410 megapixel 35 millimeter sensor.
That's, I think, too much.
I think so.
Yeah.
It's 24K, they say.
Yeah.
And it's backside illuminated stack, so it's not a global shutter. It's a regular old.
How big is the RAW for that gonna be?
A lot.
Yeah.
A lot. But I mean, this is another one where it's really this is from their industrial sensor line. Like this is for heavy industry, not for.
They say it can capture full resolution images at 8 frames per second. Its readout is that fast,
which is pretty good.
Yeah. Designed for surveillance, medicine, and other industrial applications that demand extreme resolution.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure. And they're going to make a low light. Interesting. Yeah. They're going to offer a monochrome version with a 4-pixel binning function that improves low light. So you get a monochrome binned sensor that gives you a 100 megapixel super sampled video, which is kind of neat.
I think the funniest thing would be to put this sensor into either a fixed lens point and shoot like the X100 or whatever, or put it in a camera body but then use like $100 Amazon lens with it.
slap a lens baby on here.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I'm doing lomography with my 410 megapixel camera.
Basically. Let's see. Next up, we've got an interesting thing. This is more of a category that I've noticed. There's a new gimbal from a company that I've never heard of, but the important bit,
starting out strong.
Yeah. But the thing that's interesting, and this ties into the drone that we were talking about.
Hohem.
They've got some gimbals that don't require you to use the app to set up the subject tracking in the gimbal.
How do it know?
Now I don't know.
I see. I'm looking here. It has the gimbal itself, it would appear, has a camera.
See, that's clever. I like that.
The sole purpose of which is, I guess, to track you. So yeah,
but that's fine with
interesting.
Me. I mean, it's the same kind of deal like the little DJI dingus that we talked about last week. The drone
it does feel
can
a little
track
bit
you without needing a phone.
Yeah, it does feel a little bit pimp my camera, like
well,
yo
sure.
dog. We heard you like cameras. So
look, people just like filming with their phone instead of buying a DJI Osmo.
Yeah,
but more.
Well, I can tell you this: the iSteady Hohem iSteady MT2 kit camera stabilizer with AI tracker / magnetic fill light, all-in-one 3-axis gimbal stabilizer for mirrorless camera smartphone, native vertical shooting, is $329 on Amazon, but there's a $50 off coupon available.
Oh, well, it's a steal, though.
And to be honest, that's actually a half decent price for one of these gimbals.
Good for a gimbal.
Yeah.
But I'm more interested in the fact that more companies lately seem to be realizing that people don't like controlling stuff with an app, and just like building controls into the device so that you don't need an app to do it. Yeah. More of this, please.
Yeah, I have a DJI gimbal, and I don't really use it because you kind of have to use the app.
Got to use the stupid app. Just put the controls on the device. It's not that complicated.
No Bluetooth required. It says gesture OK to enable AI tracking. Gesture stop to stop AI tracking.
Great.
And then said the little inbuilt camera has a little fill light which you can even adjust the color temperature of, or it's RGB. Just thrown in there as a little bonus.
No app required. That's so good. Let's get more devices where you don't need a stupid app just to turn the damn thing on.
Yeah.
Let's see. You've got film things going on here.
I do. This is an interesting one. So I think we talked a little bit about how Kodak was basically saying that they weren't gonna provide their film for respooling into still, cartridges anymore.
Right.
And we have a little bit more detail on that. There's a company called Reflex Lab that does a lot of this respooling. And they've been told that Kodak is basically cutting them off. And what Kodak says, their sort of justification for this is that Kodak makes the motion picture film and they sort of sell it at like subsidized prices to film productions and to allow them to use it. And then to everyone else, they sort of sell it at a premium to offset the cost. And what they said is that some companies like Reflex Lab, I guess, are acquiring the motion picture stock to respool, but are claiming that they're using it to produce movies and taking it getting, the promotional price, I guess, or whatever.
Okay.
And so they're cutting off Reflex Lab. I don't. It seems like they're cutting off their nose despite their face a little bit.
Yeah.
Here.
So wait. So they're mad because they're saying Reflex Lab isn't paying them enough. Basically,
I guess so. Yeah, among other sort of respooling operations.
Just raise the prices.
I guess not. And I think there's also they sort of feel. It seems that these respoolers are like direct competition, except that they're not because
Kodak isn't selling this.
Kodak doesn't sell these films for still usage. With you could maybe say that Ektachrome, because there is an Ektachrome, motion picture film, and there's Ektachrome still film, although they're supposed to be slightly different, formulations and all that. It seems like the easy solution to me, it seems, would be that Kodak could just do this themselves. Like, this is a business that they could just take over, right? If they did this themselves, it would actually be easier for them to do that, because the thing that a lot of these respoolers have to do is, well, first of all, they have to get like a 1,000-foot reel and spool it into little 35 millimeter reels. in complete darkness. But often they also have to remove the remjet backing of the film as well, to allow it to be processed as a normal, color still film. And Kodak could just do that themselves and, save the expense of not having to put the remjet on or whatever. But I don't know. It's a little weird. I guess the thing is that this doesn't seem to be, it seems like basically respooling. They don't, they'll let you do it if you're big enough, because Cinestill,
and if you're paying them enough money.
Yes, because Cinestill is not affected by this.
Now I have a cynical take on this. It's interesting that Cinestill specifically is not affected. Is Kodak going to just purchase them? I don't
know. So the rumor for a while has been that Cinestill doesn't actually re-spool motion picture film anymore, but rather they have a deal with Kodak to basically be supplied with motion picture film to
I'd 100% believe that.
Yeah, like basically what it seems like is that Kodak does not want to pay you any attention unless you're large enough to work out some sort of arrangement with them whereby you will get motion picture film, but already spooled even, or maybe not spooled, but without the remjet kind of thing.
Which does sound like a typical Kodak move to do that. So I wouldn't be surprised if that's what's going on here.
But I just don't, I don't know. What this will do is it'll make, certain kinds of film a little bit more expensive, and it will also remove or make it harder to get, a number of unique films that you can't otherwise get,
Right. So I guess why
Vision 250D, you can't really get an equivalent still film to that.
Why are they selling this at a discount to motion pictures? Like, what
they think that if they sold it, it says, that industry is more susceptible to pricing changes, and if the film price is too high, those filmmakers and studios may elect not to use film at all, which would mean it's entirely possible that Kodak will no longer have enough volume to justify the price of production. So they're sort of trying to keep the industry going. But I would argue that that ship has already sailed. Don't you think?
I think so.
Anyone who's concerned about cost is going to be using digital cinema stuff. And if they're using film, it's not it is inherently more expensive than digital cinema, and you are doing it specifically for the look. So I don't know.
It really feels like a Photography Matthew move here. They're mad that somebody else is making money on their product and they want it.
Kind of, yeah. I mean, it's like, hey, you can't respool our film, and it's like, well, then make it available for
let us buy it.
Again, this is this is something that the Apple Corporation understands eminently, which is if someone's doing something that you can do much more easily and better, you can just do it and steal their entire business.
Or you can charge them more. Just say, hey, if you're going to do this, you have to pay the normal price.
Right.
Okay. And then the companies that do the respooling will send a notice to their customers like, hey, prices are going up. Sorry. And
which, film photographers are already used to that happening all the time anyway. I don't know why they're cutting off these respools, because it seems like they are deliberately choosing to make less revenue. And I would argue that Kodak does not need to be making less revenue. They're already kind of on a knife's edge as a business, I also wonder if there's some politics here because of the weird business relationship of Kodak, where Eastman Kodak makes the film but doesn't sell it to consumers.
It could be.
Because Kodak Alaris is supposed to sell still film to consumers, but if you're getting motion picture film, you're getting it from Eastman Kodak. and then you're selling it to consumers, and you're sort of circumventing Kodak Alaris, which frankly should not exist. That's a business that shouldn't exist. It's just a stupid. Well, at this point, it's owned by private equity, so it's just a stupid, money vacuum for private equity. But
yeah,
that's where we. Meanwhile, where the heck is like Fujifilm and all this? They're like, we make Instax, and it's like you guys could make like people.
Come on,
let me tell like Fuji. I'm talking directly to you. People are clamoring for your films, so much so that you have your whole thing with digital cameras is that they simulate your classic films. Just make your classic films again.
Yeah, seriously.
Bring me Natura, Come on. What are we doing here?
This is a Pentax 17 situation for them, I feel like, where anyone who knows how to make those films is retired and nearing
I guess
dying.
So, yeah. Yeah.
If they want to bring those back, the window of time in which they can get the expertise to do it is rapidly closing.
Yeah.
They need to do it soon.
Yeah. I don't know that they will, but I think that there are other companies that have clearly recognized that this is a niche that they can capitalize on, like Ilford / Harman, with Phoenix. But also, I was actually ironically on Reflex Lab site, and they have a note about Lucky Color Film. Lucky was a big film manufacturer in China, in the 90s, and they sort of declined a bit, but now they've brought back some of their black and white films last year, and they are close to launching their color film again in the second quarter this year. And it won't be one of the cheapest color films if we can get it, because of course it's coming from China, so it'll be, we can't buy stuff from there because I understand that's bad. But yeah, that'll be interesting. Also, another company called Light Lens Lab, which is they've been making classic style lenses for modern cameras, sort of like the what would the no Nikon thing that we were talking about.
I think we've mentioned them before. Yeah.
Yeah. They have said that they are working on film emulsions.
Interesting.
Yeah, which is interesting.
Okay. I mean, these pictures look like ass, but I mean, the fact that it works is pretty good.
Right. I mean, that's, it's chemistry in this case. So, yeah.
Huh. All right.
I think it'll probably be companies like this that sort of,
I think so.
Save the day. Really, what needs to happen, I think, is someone needs to Impossible Project Fujifilm's film stuff and just. If the machinery even still exists. The rumor is that they destroyed the machinery for the Fuji 400 Superia, but.
Well, I mean, if you can figure out the chemistry, you can build the machinery. You don't need the machines.
Yeah, machinery is expensive, though. No one wants to spend money on capital expenses anymore. That's
true, unless it's AI. Okay, can we get GPUs involved in this?
I bet we could do some film emulsion simulation with GPUs and
because
AI,
then we can sell this to the insane venture capitalists that are about 20 minutes north of me. And then
I need
then we're in business.
$20 billion to buy 10 GPUs and also a whole bunch of film manufacturing equipment.
Also Fuji's factory.
Yeah.
Don't worry about that. It's just to put the GPUs in.
Yeah, it's conveniently located somehow. Yeah.
Oh, boy.
Anyway. Speaking of going back to things that you had previously abandoned, Canon has recommitted to compact cameras and will increase production to meet demand, they said.
Okay.
They seem to have got the message. I mean, the G7X has been sold out for a while. So I think they understand that people want these things. And indeed, there are rumors that the Canon V1, a new compact camera, might be just around the corner, coming early this year. It's rumored to be a 24 megapixel with the micro four thirds size sensor. In the vein of the traditional power shot point and shoot compact camera line. Interesting that they're calling it the V1 because they had the PowerShot V10 a couple of years ago, which was their weird vlogging camera, if you remember that.
Yes, I do.
Yeah. And so this is named as if it was in the same series as that, but it's not going to be a vlogging camera. So say the rumors. So, yeah. Interesting. We'll keep our eyes peeled for this. I think there are a lot of compact cameras out there. A lot of them are, as we have discussed previously, a little long in the tooth. So,
a bit.
It'll be interesting to see how quickly those folks react to the increasing popularity of said compact cameras.
And then, Canon heavy episode today.
Yeah,
because I've got another Canon topic that I forgot to put in here.
Okay.
They're making new printers. They're still making printers over there.
did see that. Yeah, they're making new printers. Specifically, they're making new printers for photography related uses.
And that are
not just for printing out your documents.
And that are not insanely expensive for photography uses either.
That okay. Well,
so there's two.
I'll believe
you can be the judge of that, I suppose. But there's two new ones. So they're upgrades to existing ones they have. There's the Pixma Pro 200S, and then the what is this other one? The Image Prograph Pro 310, which is
that's going to be the expensive one.
Well, the Pixma Pro is $599, and the Image Prograph Pro is $899.
Yeah,
so it's not that bad. Both of them will print 13 by 19 borderless.
Oh, very nice.
And it really seems like the only difference between them is the number of inks. So I think the 310 is like a 10 color system.
Yeah, which I don't envy having. I guess if you are printing things professionally, that isn't a big deal. But having to worry about 10 ink cartridges is not my idea of fun.
Yeah. So I think I'm going to get one of these because Kim, my wife, uses a Canon. Geez, I don't even remember what the model is, but it's like this printer that a lot of craft people use because it'll do 12 by 12 sheets. It'll do square.
Interesting. Okay.
And it is dying. Because it's more than 5 years old, so it's time to put it in the garbage.
Yeah.
Really, the problem is one of the print heads seems to be weak, and the only way to compensate for the color, which you can fix, it's fixable, but only on Windows. Because Canon has decided to just stop making their printer drivers for macOS.
Interesting.
So you can't go in and adjust the color balance when you're printing on Mac because Canon, for those printers, just doesn't make a driver anymore. They make one for Windows. It looks like it's from Windows 95, but it works.
The numbers here, it's sort of startling where we've gotten with inkjet printers from where I recall them as in my youth. It says
I know.
This is for the Pixma Pro 200S. The print head has 6,144 total nozzles.
Yeah.
Its
crazy,
maximum
right?
printing resolution is 4,800 by 2,400 dots per inch. That's probably more dots than you need.
Yeah.
They got to be real. I mean, they're obviously very, very small at that.
See, an inkjet printer in my mind is a Lexmark Z31.
Yes. Why does that model sound familiar?
You know what? Look up an image of it. You know exactly what I'm talking about.
Yes, my dad had one of these. I don't know if it was the Z31 or an earlier model, but
that to me is an inkjet printer.
Yes, and the drivers for it, when you would print in Windows 98 or what have you, it would pop up a window that would show you the printing progress, and it would say printing started, and then it had a little GIF of the printer, and the page would go through the printer in the GIF as it went through the printer in real time. And then when it was done, which by the way, it was, it printed like one line every couple of seconds. It was ridiculous.
It was ridiculous. And
then when it did finally complete a page, in like 2 hours time, it would say printing complete.
Yep.
I just remember because I could, I always knew when my dad was printing something because it just hear from the other room, printing started.
If I remember correctly,
thank you.
These Z31s were a big deal in the Mac community because they were one of the first ones that were USB inkjet printers. They didn't use a parallel port or whatever, so they'd actually work on the Mac.
Yeah,
yeah.
I even remember these. I remember these ink cartridges. And how expensive they were and how they seemed to contain almost no ink of note.
Yeah, you'd get like 2 pages out of the thing.
Yeah.
And
2
then
pages,
it would have
which
to do,
took like 15 minutes to print.
And then it would have to do a self-cleaning cycle where it would use half the cartridge.
Yeah, well, yes, and you also had to print out the alignment sheet and then enter the alignment information into the driver window.
Man.
So you'd be like, it was basically like doing a sort of eye test where it's like number 1 or number 2. And you'd be like, yeah, number 3 looks good here. Number 5.
And here's the thing. They're inkjet printers. They're not much better than that today.
Yeah, well.
They're really not. They're still bad.
They're just faster.
Yeah.
Because we figured out how to make the ink spit out faster. So, yeah.
But anyways, what we've decided to do at home is we have one of those Brother laser printers that everybody has.
Mm-hmm.
That's the printer for printing, general stuff. And then we'll get one of these Canon ones to print, nice stuff.
Yeah. I've had a laser printer now for like basically a decade. And I think I've replaced the toner once.
Yeah. Ours is now giving the toner low notification, which is still on the test cartridge that it came with when we bought it 4 years ago.
The only reason I got rid of my previous laser printer and got the Brother was because it was being stupid about network connections, and it would occasionally just print garbage.
Yeah, they'll do
and
that.
It was a Samsung, which Samsung sold their printer business to HP, so they kind of quit like updating drivers for it or anything, so yeah. Anyway, that's our advice: is buy a laser printer, I guess.
Yeah, buy it. If you need a printer for your house, number 1, consider whether or not you actually do.
Oh, right, yeah.
Because you probably don't.
You probably don't. Step 2.
And then second, buy the $50 Brother printer that everyone has.
Yeah. Or spend a little bit more and get the one that I have that does automatic duplex printing, because that's a fun.
Oh, I think those are only like $100.
Yeah.
They are not expensive anymore.
Yeah. I have thought about getting a photo printer. I have the little tiny Canon selfie one that does like 4x5s, but I guess I think if I had a printer like this myself, I would probably print more of my photos.
Well, that's
my problem.
That's the thing.
I do think like, well, I should get more of my photos printed, and then I like go to the website or whatever, and then I'm like looking through my photos, and I'm like, I don't know if I want to spend like $13 on blow up of this.
Well, do you want to spend? It's $13 or like go to Walgreens, which is just as bad.
Well, yeah, and importantly, the CVS pharmacy nearest me just closed because so I guess pharmacies aren't profitable anymore. I don't know how they messed that business up.
Nobody needs medications anymore, as you know.
Yeah. Yeah. Here's a thought. Maybe putting everything behind those stupid plastic covers that are locked sort of discourage people from coming in and getting stuff when they could just go across the street to Kroger and get the exact same stuff without having to ask for help.
Well, didn't you see they're going to make it so that you can have you can use an app to open the stupid cage.
It's like a smart home, but for CVS, where it'll be like, release the shampoo.
Which I don't know about where you
uncage.
are here.
Uncage the aspirin. My head hurts.
There's no reception. There's no cell reception in our CVSs here either.
No, I think all CVSs
are
are dead zones. I think it's the nature of the construction materials they've used for the buildings. They're all dead zones. Yeah,
man.
Yeah. I'm just like, how do you, because prescriptions, like prescription medications are so expensive. How do you mess it up that you are having to close stores? What are you doing? Yeah.
Is it a like, did they get private equitied?
Oh, I don't know. This is the thing too. They not only own the pharmacy, they own the pharmacy benefit company, the Caremark, and they own Aetna, a health insurer. Right. How are you? You're almost completely vertically integrated. You just need to buy a pharmaceutical manufacturing company, and then you own the whole chain.
Right. This
is the thing, is like my health insurance is Caremark, and so I can't go to a Walgreens. It's not covered.
Right. You don't have a choice.
I have to go to CVS. How are you? Like, I am a captive audience. How are you screwing that up? I'm starting to think that business degrees aren't all they're cracked up to be.
Oh, really? I think FedEx had it right with that commercial that they made in the 90s where they said FedEx.com so easy even an MBA can use it. I think they were right. Yeah. Way more right than we thought.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In May 2024, CVS Health announced it was seeking a private equity partner to help fund the expansion of Oak Street Health.
There we go. Is that are they doing an Xfinity thing where they're giving it a different name and hope that people have a better opinion?
No, I think Oak Street Health, I'm guessing, is like, what if Minute Clinic was nice?
No, this is what if One Medical was done by CVS.
Oh, that seems
to be what this is.
I don't like that at all.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what this looks like. Is it's just like
good news. They do have one office here in Columbus. Bad news. It is on the other side of the town. Also, there's a photo of it, and it is quite clearly what used to be a CVS pharmacy.
Of course,
building.
Yeah, of course.
Just it's been painted green instead of red.
even worse than One Medical for CVS. It seems like this is One Medical for people on Medicare. So it's One Medical, but they rip off the government. It's even worse.
Okay, great. Yeah,
awesome.
Love that.
Cool.
Hey, good news. They accept Aetna.
Oh, great. You can tell I just had to deal with my insurance company.
Oh, no?
Man.
Reminds me, I should check on my claim for my CPAP that I put in
luck.
a month and a half ago.
Good luck. I have a sleep study coming up, and let me tell you, if they tell me I need a CPAP, I'm just going to purchase one. I'm not even.
That's
even
pretty much. Yeah, I mean, that's what I did. I sent it in hoping they'd give me, something for it, but
$50 is the price we've determined that a CPAP should cost.
Well, and here's the thing: like, you have to submit a claim either by postal mail or fax.
Oh, of course.
So, which I might as well have emailed it to like Dev Null.
It's basically the same.
Just email us your claim. Our email address is no@no.no.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Our email address is do not reply at. Anyway.
OM system.
About? Oh, yes.
They're back.
Yeah.
I guess.
Yeah. So we talked last time that OM system had teased that they had new stuff coming soon. And apparently they meant real soon because they teased a new camera reveal on February 6th, which might be the day that you're listening to this. So if it is, point your internet browser over on the OM Systems website and see what they got going on there. They said it is. They said discover what's next in the world of creative photography. So people are speculating that this might be a new sort of pen camera type thing, but I don't know.
Yeah.
We'll see.
And it looks like the thing that they've teased is what looks like the creative control from the pen system.
Yeah.
Because the pen had that little thing on the front that let you pick like art or color or mono or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And it looks like they're teasing the same little dial.
They said, so I guess they released a teaser video, and Petapixel tried to do some Kremlinology here on stills of it. And it looks like it's more of a traditional SLR style camera, but I'm also not convinced that this is actually the camera in question versus just some teaser shots. I don't know.
Well,
maybe.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
Hard to say. I guess you'll probably find out before we do, I guess.
Yeah. Turning my dial to art.
Well, this also looks like it has a CRT feature. I thought we got rid of CRT a few years ago.
Yeah.
Isn't that outlawed now or something?
Yeah, we've switched to LCDs, yeah.
Well, I was going...
No, I
thought there was an executive order saying we can't do CRT anymore.
No more. Yeah, none of that. Yeah.
What else we got?
I do love the related articles on Petapixel, because there's one here that's like, new Pentax full frame DSLR teaser site says camera coming in spring 2016.
Yep.
What else we got here? Oh, yes.
AI. The horrors. We're back to the horrors.
So there's a photographic, festival, Photo Brussels, which normally, exhibits photography taken by real people of real actual things. And this year they've decided to also allow AI images in.
Cool.
And I have to say, all of these look not
terrible.
Very good.
Yeah, they're pretty bad. What's this John Lennon and Yoko Ono looking one? Is that supposed to be them?
Yes, that is, but it looks very bad.
Yeah.
This is part of a project called Une Histoire Parallèle. The folks use Midjourney to recreate some of the world's most famous photographs. Not a thing we need to do. We have the actual photographs.
Okay, I'm going to say... I don't think that these people tried.
No, they didn't really try that much. Yeah.
Look, one of the Discords that I'm in has a channel where people use Midjourney to generate pictures of toilets.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to say that those look way more realistic than any of these.
Yeah.
They didn't.
I don't think they did very much prompt engineering.
None at all.
Yeah.
Because you can get better results out of Midjourney fairly easily. Like, I'm especially looking at the faces of the people in these images. They're so, like, comically bad.
Yeah.
What did they do?
I don't
I'm
know.
so confused here.
But they have they have one here. So there's the photo Migrant Mother by Dorothea Lange. Everyone sort of knows it. It's the black and white photo of the woman during the Dust Bowl kind of thing with her children. And she's got her, hand on her face looking off into the distance. And the version that they've recreated is not... it made her Russian?
Yeah.
It's completely changed her face.
It did do that.
And even her skin tone. And also, what is going on with so in the original photo, like one of her sons is sort of resting on her shoulder. In this photo, there apparently are people, holding on to her arm. But it appears to be anywhere between 1 to 3 hands with, something like 8 fingers. This isn't art. This is just slop.
Yeah, this is garbage.
This isn't thought provoking, except that it's provoking thoughts of anger in me.
It's just making
because
me
here's
mad.
the thing: it's not needed, and in order to create it, you've spent like a relatively large amount of natural resources, electricity, and whatever else, to make something that is just a waste.
The thing that bothers me about this is it's these like art collectives, Photo Brussels, run by I don't know who are the like rich backers that make this thing happen, like whoever that is.
Yeah.
Saying oh, well, AI must be the future, so we have to embrace it.
Mm-hmm.
And like, we must include it because, you know, if we don't, we'll be left behind. And it's like, we don't have to embrace it, though. You could just not do that.
You don't have to do that. I mean,
you don't
even
see like the SF MoMA putting up AI art images. Even the San Francisco Museum of Modern Art, the place where there are the most AI sickos on the planet. You don't even see them putting this crap up.
Right. So the first images here are on this in this article are from a project called Cherry Airlines, which is sort of 50s, 60s era, you know, fake airline that this person has prompted an image generator to make. And these look actually reasonably well until, if you go to the image at the very top here and you click on it and zoom in, until you look at the hands, and the hands are all wrong.
Yeah, that has some.
The fingers are all screwed up. The fruit on the food tray is kind of a mess.
That's a massive. It's not even a loaf of bread. It's like a rectangle of bread.
Yeah, I think it's a Hot Pocket. Yeah.
50s Hot Pocket.
And then it looks like there's like a thing of broccoli here that's just been like cut off at the edge or something.
They look
and then
they look reasonable until you actually look at them.
Yeah, right.
That's the problem with all of these AI images. Like if you're just scrolling past them, you don't even
if you're
notice.
Glancing at them, you don't really notice. But if you, like even the tag on her shirt, it's just something that looks vaguely like letters, but isn't.
What I'll say is this AI image generation is crap, and I think it is starting to die out. I'm not seeing as much of it as I did anymore.
Yeah.
I'm also not really going on Facebook, so that probably has something to do with it. But like, I think that people have realized that it kind of looks bad.
Yeah.
And it hasn't really gotten that much better ever. You know, you can argue whether or not the text models have gotten better. I would argue that they really kind of haven't, but at least you can.
They've sure gotten more expensive.
Well, yeah. Check out. I'll link in the description here. Check out my blog on an article about that I wrote the other day. But the image model is kind of plateaued.
Yeah. What experience would you have in generative AI, Arthur? That's what I have.
Yeah. The people look, I don't post my articles on Hacker News because I don't want them to see me, but we have friends who love Hacker News and they post my articles on there. And people on there really have a lot of opinions.
Yeah. Yeah.
They have a lot of opinions about whether your credentials are valid.
Mm-hmm.
And
wow.
Yeah, well, that's sort of how they are.
Anyway, one last new camera announcement. Fuji has introduced the Instax Wide Evo. This is just like the Mini Evo, which is where it's a digital camera that then prints onto the Instax film.
Why?
I don't know.
Why do
I suppose it's encouraging that they are still making the plain old cameras too at the same time. But
I mean, it's a printer. No one's taking pictures with this. They're just using it to print out their Instagram things. Yeah. Why doesn't Fujifilm, instead of making this device that nobody wants, I say, also, as I'm sure my wife rushes to order one.
Also, guess how much money they want for this?
$200?
$350.
Come on, guys.
That's too much for what this is.
I'm sorry. Come on, that's ridiculous.
I think the Instax Mini Evo is like $100.
Yeah.
And this is the appeal of this is that it's slightly larger than the mini.
You can use the wide film. I guess that's the appeal.
Yeah, you can use the wide film, and for that, oh no, I'm sorry, the Instax Mini Evo is $200.
That's still too much.
Yeah.
Here's my feedback for Instax. Just if you want to have
get
this
a grip. Get a grip.
But like, okay, it's clear that people want this like printer thing, right? They want to print photos they took on their phone onto the film. Yeah. Just make one that can print on all of the shapes of film.
No, it's too hard.
All it is, it's just a screen, right? It just holds a screen up to the film. That's what it's doing.
Yeah.
Just like make one that the screen is bigger than all of the films, and then
they can't figure out how to do that. It's just not possible.
This one should be able to print on all of the Instax formats, right?
What printers well, you would think that. No, instead you're going to have to buy one of each model of the Instax Mini Link, Square Link, and Link Wide.
Yeah.
Now, why it's Mini Link, Square Link, and not Wide Link, I do not know. But, yeah.
But even then. So I'm buying this Link Wide, which is just a printer.
Uh-huh.
I guess this is more than double the price to get a bad camera attached to the front.
Yeah, like a smartphone. Well, not even a smartphone camera.
No, it's worse than a smartphone camera.
Yeah.
It's the same thing. They've glued a mediocre at best digital camera onto the front of this printer.
Yeah. And I guarantee you it's probably the exact same guts that are in the Link Wide.
Almost certain it is,
Yeah. Right.
So
good news though. They've released a macOS printer driver for the Link Wide.
Oh, fantastic!
Yeah, you don't have to use your smartphone. There, like you were asking, you don't have to use an app. Okay,
great.
We gave you what you want.
You know what they call those? This camera, this Wide, and the Mini Evo. They call these hybrid printers.
Yeah.
Is what they call these. On their website. These are the hybrid printers.
The Instax Link Wide printer also has the ability to print onto your photo a QR code.
Oh, that's what you want.
So you can link to a website or record a sound or put a location or hidden message.
You know what is funny though? For just let's see, I believe it's $30 more than the price of this Instax Wide Evo hybrid camera. You can buy all three of the printers. Because the wide is $150, the square is $139, and the mini is $99.
Yeah. Oh, so you mean the Chaos Emeralds?
Yes. You can
another
buy
fine
all
addition
three.
To my collection.
All three of them you can purchase for just like $30 more than this one.
Yeah.
Come on, Fujifilm. What are you doing?
I'm also seeing that the Instax website has a section specifically for Instax Biz for business.
Oh, this is a big deal. Yeah.
Instant engagement with custom branded photos. So I guess what you can do is you can... Oh, okay. So there's an app called Instax Biz, which allows you to create a sort of template for an Instax printer that allows you to like put a frame on it with a logo.
Yeah, it's for doing
this is what you use the QR codes for, because you can print a QR code on there that's a link to a website or like a coupon or something.
Yeah, it's for doing photo booths and like corporate wellness retreats. That's what this is for.
Yeah.
Come on.
Guys, they've got case studies here. From let's see, what does it say here? They have take rates on the QR scan code rate. Instax Biz Christmas installation with a 43% QR scan rate achieved. Yeah.
Nobody needs this, guys. Come on.
Yeah.
We don't need Instax.
Here's the thing. I would appreciate an instant photo as like a favor, but I don't want it to be branded.
No, absolutely not.
Yeah.
Well, okay. If it has if you make an instant photo that
like
has
the event or something,
like for a wedding, right? I could see you putting the wedding date or something, and that's fine. Yeah. But don't put
my wedding brand. Yeah.
Don't put a QR code on my wedding photo. I don't need that.
Yeah.
And it also seems like you have to like contact them to get a. I think you have to like buy a contract with them to even use this app in the first place.
Mm-hmm.
There's like you can download it on the App Store, but there's like a like get in touch form at the bottom.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
Fascinating.
Is it?
No.
It's confusing is what it is.
Yeah. Really,
video.
So here's the thing. Okay, they do still make it. Instax had a, they have their film, and they have the film has different little frames. Not that you add in post, but like you can get like black framed film or rainbow or stone gray or whatever. And they had one that was contact sheet where it has the like, it's a black frame, but then it has like Fujifilm Instax, and then it says Instax, and it has like a frame number, an ISO 800. And I thought that was pretty cool. And I'm glad to see that they are still making that, apparently. So
that is good.
Yeah. Anyway, I did some video.
Yeah. Well, how did that go? What was up with your videos?
It went okay, I would say. The Nikon Z6 III was remarkably easy to operate in videographer mode. I figured out the settings fairly quickly. It did a good job, I thought. I was pleased, I guess, with the results that I had. I think I mentioned that I got that like manual slider thing. That was a waste of time.
Well,
if I was to get a slider, I should have gotten an actual like good one, but whatever. That was an experiment that did not pay off. So
I think that's par for the course.
Yeah. Everything else, the tripod that I got was ridiculous in terms of like both size and also just how like kind of overbuilt but solid it was, and also how smooth all the movement and adjustments were. Perhaps I'm just used to like cheap, crappy tripods, but like this being like a proper Manfrotto with like a fluid head, like it was just so smooth to pan around and up and down and all that. So, it was good, I guess. And folks liked the results that I provided. What I've learned, I think, interestingly, is, I took videos and stills, and I was just posting some of the stills before I had edited the video. And people were like, oh, these photos are so good, and I'm like, they're not even, I think this is the thing is, I think this is the thing is, people are tired of like smartphone photos because they just are like, I don't know, too over processed. Like there's just something about a photo from a proper digital camera that it just looks clearer, I guess,
I think I don't know how much of it is due to the sensor. I think it's the lenses.
Mm-hmm.
Like you can't beat physics.
Yeah.
A bigger lens will capture more light and will look more natural, I think. I just don't think you can beat that.
Well, and when you have like a full frame sensor of 26 megapixels versus a teeny tiny little one of, equal or even more pixels, but there's just, it's just not going to be able to gather quite as much light.
No.
So, yeah. I mean, and I even noticed that, you can see a difference. You can put side by side. Apple likes to tout, that folks make like films and stuff using their phones now, but you can tell a difference still.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. And even when they do say like, oh, this was filmed on an iPhone, and then they have all the caveats of like, and also it was processed, color corrected, and all of this. And it's like, okay, so you that's like, you basically Photoshopped it, as it were.
Yeah.
To make it look.
Photoshopped it.
Yeah. So it was good. And it also gave me a good idea of like what sort of things, because we'll probably have to do this again when we have, our actual factory up and running. And so I have an idea of what sort of equipment I will need then and how to make use of it and all of that.
Sure.
So, yeah.
Well, hey, that's pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
That's good.
And I did kind of the Z6 III. It's a very nice camera. I keep looking at it. It was on sale for,
mm-hmm.
And the fact that it can record at 6K is pretty nice. It's not that expensive for a camera that can record 6K HDR even, so.
I forget it can do that. Do the HDR.
Yeah, it's kind of nuts.
I'm reluctant to start using HDR, mainly because I don't have an HDR monitor to edit on.
Yeah.
So I haven't started doing it yet, but I want to.
Well, you have to wait till your monitor watch is concluded.
And that won't solve it either, because if I get the 6K monitor, that won't work. And if I get one of the OLEDs, regular HDR support on Mac, well, on any of those monitors is really bad. OLED or like Mac OS or not, HDR support on Windows is bad too.
Yeah.
So unless you're using an Apple monitor with HDR, you're kind of out of luck, which is very annoying.
Yeah, I didn't, for our purposes, HDR was of no extra benefit anyway. So yeah. Although I did have it originally set to record to ProRes RAW, and the files were just way too big. And I was like, I don't actually I can just record to MP4s. It'll be fine.
Yeah. It usually is.
Yeah.
It's usually fine.
Because I didn't, all I did with my video was really just, cut and splice it or whatever. I didn't like color correct it really or anything,
Right.
If I did any sort of transformations, it was to crop in a little bit, for which the 6K was helpful because I could crop in at 4K and not lose any detail. So
yeah. That makes sense.
Or, even stabilization in like DaVinci Resolve to have it do the auto stabilization and still not lose any detail. So yeah, because I did try and do some handheld shots, which was okay.
Yeah, those are hard.
Yeah, it's not as bad as you'd think because it has the the in-body image stabilization and all that, but certainly a gimbal or whatever would be, I'm sure, smoother. So yeah, it was good fun, I guess.
That is good. It's better than I've done with video.
Yeah,
I'll get into it someday. Maybe.
You don't have to.
Yeah, I know. I kind of want to, though.
Yeah.
I don't know. People kind of assume that, like, if you're a photographer, you also know how to do video. And I simply don't.
Right.
I feel like I should have at least a little bit of knowledge.
Why do I have to? Why?
I don't know.
What if I don't want to? Anyway.
It's a good point. What if I don't want to?
Yeah. But anyway. This has been Sensor Noise. Thank you for listening. You can find us on the interwebs in various places. Instagram, Blue Sky, things of that nature. Tune in next time for yet more photography stuff. And other stuff maybe too. Hobby updates. Who knows?